Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's session. My name is Precious. I am your moderator for today. We are here to explore how Google's tools can create a more inclusive learning environment. You are very, very welcome to today's session, and thank you for joining in early. We would love to know where in the world you are joining in from. So, welcome to today's session. Kindly mention your name and where you're joining in from. And also, if you can hear me, kindly let me know in the chat. I want to be sure that everybody can hear me. Hi, Christopher from London. Welcome, welcome. Okay, perfect. Everyone can hear me. So kindly introduce yourself, where you're joining in from, your name. We'd love to know. Okay, I see a lot of people. Hi, Helen from Accra. Hi, Naftali from Ghana. Hi, Minette from Accra. Violet from Kenya. Belinda from Ghana. Beautiful. Linda from Ghana. Carol from France. Olivia from Ghana. Benitha from Rwanda. Vivian from Ghana. Jacob from Ghana. Josephine from Ghana. Deborah from Ghana. Angela from Ghana. Irene from Cape Coast, Ghana. I see all of you. It's beautiful to see all of you here. Thank you for joining in early. We're starting shortly. I just want to see more people and where they are joining in from, and then head right into today's session. Miyang from Cameroon. Nice to see you, Miyang. Okay. Wahab from Ghana, Dinah from Ghana, Josephine from Nigeria, Joyce from Koporidua, Ghana, Mobola from Nigeria, Rosalind from Ghana, Prevent from Nigeria, and Lukma from California, Francis from Zambia, Elisha from Ghana, Kim Fred from Osu, Ghana, Grace from Ghana, Gifty from Ghana. It's lovely to meet you all. Once again, you're welcome to today's session. We are going to delve into the tools that Google has and how it's making inclusive education better for all of us, wherever you are in the world. If you're just joining in, we'd love to know your name and where you're joining in from so we can read it out loud. Okay, so I see Botola from Nigeria. Hi, I see Justina from Cole London, UK. It's good to know that. Okay, so before we dive into our session, I have two questions for us all here. So I'm going to read them and I'd love to see your input, love to hear what your responses will be. So kindly write them in the chat. If you want to speak to, you can raise your hand and I'll take a few quick answers, and then we'll move on. So my first question is, when you're reading something online or in a book and it's hard to focus or the text is difficult, what's one simple thing you might do to make it easier? So for everybody, I'm sure everybody has different hacks. The question again, when you're reading something online or when you're reading something in a book and it's hard to focus or the text is difficult, what's one simple thing you might do to make it easier? I'm looking forward to your answers. Okay, Ravna says she'll zoom in to make the text bigger. Okay, Carol will read out loud the text that can be difficult to digest. Okay, so instead of reading it in your mind, you read it out loud. Okay, I want to see more answers. So the question is, if you are reading a text online or you're reading a text in a book and it's very hard to focus or the text is difficult, what's one simple thing you might do to make it easier to read? Okay. Convert to read aloud to me, probably that. Okay. Angela will also convert the text into a podcast with notebook. Beautiful. Naphtali, masking, I don't know what it is, but wow. Prevent or type the word on text to speech and get it. Olivia will use a text to audio feature if possible. On mobile app, we will zoom the text and read it all over again and read it out loud. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, so let's move on to our second question. When you need to remember something important or get your thoughts down, what's a quick method you use besides just typing or writing by hand? When you need to remember something that is very, very important or you want to get your thoughts down, what's a quick method you use besides just typing or writing it by hand in a piece of paper or in a book? Okay. Linda says she'll record it. A lot of record voice notes, record audio recordings, set a reminder from Deborah. Okay. Prevent will use FDA, so an audio recording as well. Josephine will write it in her journal. Carol will repeat it to herself several times if it's a list of items. Okay. Natalie will use timers and schedule reminders. Joyce will take a screenshot or record. Omotola will say it over again a number of times. Francis will record. So the question, if you didn't hear, is when you need to remember something very important or get your thoughts down, what's a quick method you will use besides typing or writing by hand? Naftali will use timers and reminders. Joyce will take a screenshot or record. Diana will use different shades of highlighters to make it more convenient. Okay, I think she's referring to the reading question. Just a few more answers and then we'll move on. But thank you so much for indulging me and answering my question. It's lovely to read all your responses. Olivia will use Google Audio to Text feature. Okay. Omola, copy and paste where she'll go back to stay. But have those screenshots and save it. Okay. So thank you all for your responses. They are interesting and short and smart ways to get things done, both when you are reading something difficult and when you need to put something down quickly. I've learned a few hacks myself, and I'm sure you've also learned from others. My name is Precious once again. I'm your moderator for today. You're welcome to our session today as we delve into Google's tools and how it helps us learn inclusively wherever we find ourselves in the world. I'm going to read our facilitator's bio, after which our executive director, who is here, Roslyn Trenati, will also speak for a few minutes, and then we'll head right into our session because I know you are all very much pumped to get into the session, so I wouldn't waste much of your time, please. So Christopher Padno is the lead for EMEA Accessibility and Disability Innovation at Google. He leads Google's efforts around accessibility of products, policy and partnerships across EMEA with a particular focus on emerging markets. He has 30 years experience in tech, working at companies like Apple, Sony Ericsson, and Disney, where he's built hardware, software, games, and services. He's the founder of Google's Accessibility Discovery Centers, the founder and co-chair for the W3C Immersive Captions Community Group, and is the trustee of the board of Scope. Christopher has a degree in music from UC Berkeley. Now hand over to Ms. Rosalind to speak for a few minutes, and then we head into our session.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Precious. I was hoping the tech guys at the background will spotlight Christopher when you were introducing him, so our participants could see him. But he will come on soon, so that is fine. I'm gonna attempt. I think EMEA is Middle East and Africa. Christopher, when you come on, kindly correct us if that
Yes,
I got it.
it's Middle East, Africa, and Europe.
Fantastic. Yes, so that we don't get people confused as to what that is
Mm.
Middle East, Africa, and Europe. That is where he represents at there at Google. Thank you so much, Christopher, for joining us tonight. I'm so excited for your session and for you graciously accepting to come and enrich our community. I know this is the first of the many amazing things that is going to come on, and I'm going to be knocking on your door. So thank you so much for joining us. Also, a big thank you to all participants for you being here tonight. I know you have so many things to do. I know those in East Africa and co. It's almost like 9 p.m., but some of you are awake and just tuning in to be part of this to join. This year has been a fantastic year. We have had so much different programs and activities, and some of you, I see some of the names that all of you have participated in almost all activities. So congratulations to yourself. The year is ending. So much things are going to happen in 2026 and we are not resting. So please get your pen, get your pencils, get your notepad, and let's focus on today's session. Today is all about accessibility tools using Google products. And I'm so happy for us to have Christopher here who will share a bit of his story, even as he's not like a foreigner in the space thinking, oh, he's just working at Google. He is somebody who has been impacted, his life has been impacted as a neurodivergent, and he's going to share a bit about that and take us through his presentation for today. And we have over here, could you see over there the person signing? I feel that is the most intriguing a language that I really want to learn. I don't know how they do their hands and manage to convey the message to other people to understand. But we have our second speaker because at the end of the day, it's interpreter, right? Martin Atache, our fantastic sign language interpreter since I think 2020, 2021. He's been with us throughout. And so thank you so much, Martin, for the work you do. Now, for those who need sign language interpretation, please check at the corner right corner side of you. You will see interpretation. It's like a globe. Please click on it and put on sign language so that you can see when Christopher is sharing his screen, you can still see Martin as well. So please make sure you do that. I am Rosalind Abigail Chernati, and for you to know, I am wearing all black, sitting here with a braid on. So that is how I am looking this evening. Thank you so much. And I hand over to Christopher. Thank you so much.
Hello. Actually, will someone spotlight me? I know it's a challenge. There you go. Hello. My name is Christopher. My
Okay.
sign name is
And
yeah.
yeah, Christopher. And then
Yeah.
mine is Martin. That's my sign name. Nice meeting you. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm here to sort of share some thoughts on Google technology and accessibility, especially for those people with neurodivergence. I'm going to show, I'm not going to show everything. I want to show 4 or 5 things and do some demos, give you a sense of what this actually can mean. Because if I give you 10 things, you're not going to remember all 10. So I want to give you some things that are from Google, some things that are helpful from partners that work with Google technology, and then some really cool stuff that we have that I'm quite proud of. So I hope this time is useful. Please feel free to ask questions, and we'll of course have time at the end to talk. Any questions? All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Oop. Gosh, Zoom is always so hard for me. I always forget where everything is.
I know,
Okay,
forgive. We should have used Google Meet.
Math is do what's easy for you. So I also need to apologize. I'm not a designer. I'm barely an engineer, and my design skills are remedial at that. But the information here is good, even if it's ugly. So what I want to share again is just a handful of tools, but I want to just share one thing first, and this isn't in a deck. I wanted to share with you why Google does this. Our mission statement is to make the world's information universally accessible and useful. And we take this mission seriously. One, because it's part of a mission statement, but also we recognize the opportunity we have to help people get a job, get a date, go to school, all these things that people want to do. And those of us with disabilities, we need a little help. And for me, that's what technology is. It's that assistance when it comes to bringing someone to the thing that they want to do. Because inside Google, we follow what we call the social model of disability. So there's two models. There's the medical model, and the medical model idea is that we're broken and we need to be fixed. We're not broken. We just need help. And we're not always broken. We don't always need help, but there are times when we do. So what we follow at Google is the social model where we're cool, but sometimes we need help when the technology or the environment around us doesn't support our needs. And that's how we try to think about this inside Google. So what I'll be sharing with you is several tools that, at least from the Google side, that were co-designed that are dedicated to assistive technology. But I also want to show you some tools that are not dedicated technology, but have real powerful opportunities to help us. So that's what we're going to be doing, showing you dedicated, co-designed assistive technology, some tools that are helpful in case you haven't seen it, and then some Google tools that are really cool that I'm really proud of. And I've been getting the demo ready all day, so I'm hoping it's going to work out for you. So with that in mind, am I actually sharing? Can you see my ugly screen? Yes, okay, I saw yes. So first thing I want to show is a really neat feature on Android. It's called reading mode. And this is just built into the operating system. And what it can do, it can take a website or a doc and it can extract the text for you. And you can change the colors, the fonts, the background, the size. You also have it read it out loud to you. And for me, with my dyslexia, I'm much better off hearing it and seeing it at the same time. So that's my hack, is I listen to these things all the time. So this is an app that's free on Android, and I'd say get it. It's really helpful. It was designed originally with people with low vision, and then we added more features for people who are dyslexic, people who are blind with ADHD. So it's a really flexible tool that's really helpful. And it's the flexibility of these tools that I think is where some of the magic happens, because you talk with 5 people with dyslexia, you have 5 sets of problems. No one tool is going to meet everyone's need. So you need to be able to create your own tools and adjust these tools to meet your need. And this is also why I'm not only talking about Google things, because Google doesn't have all the answers. And in relationship and in partnership, we can make things better for more people. So this reading mode in Android is really cool. Again, it's free. You can download it off the Play Store. But the Chrome browser also has a reading mode. And what this does, you can right-click on a page and you can say open in reading mode. And I'll show this to you in just a moment. And you can adjust the font. I'll just have this little video play in the background while I'm talking. You open up the reading mode and you can adjust the font, the color, the typeface, the spacing, the kerning. You have a lot of tools that help making this text readable, and you can customize it to your need. Like some people use the gels, some people use different colors, and we can do all of those things with this. But what's neat is this also allows you to have it read out loud to you. You can take an article and have it read to you. So that's what I want to share with you right now is an example of my doing this. So I'm going to change tabs and share this tab. Okay, so now you should be seeing a Wikipedia article on dyslexia. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click on this screen and say open in reading mode. and it's opened reading mode. And here is where I can change the fonts, I can change the size, I can change the background, I can change the font. All of these things are there, and it's free. It's in the Chrome browser today. But what I love is the ability to have it read out loud. So you can download different languages and then have it read to you. So we have the word highlighting, we have the voice. We don't have all of the languages in the world, but we have quite a few. And again, this is here, it's today, it's free, and you can do this now. The one caveat to this is, and I'm a little embarrassed to say this, it doesn't work with Google Docs. And I can't talk to you why, but Google Docs has the ability to read on its own. So you can still have your Google Doc read out loud. You just can't use this tool to work with that. So these two reading modes are really, really helpful. They were both co-designed with people with low vision and dyslexia and learning disabilities, and they're free for you today. So let me get back to my deck. Share this tab instead. And what I want to show you now are some of these new AI tools that are quite cool. There's someone in the chat actually talked about Gemini, about Notebook LM. So Notebook LM is a free service that uses Gemini. Let me take a step back. Gemini is our language model, our large language model. A lot of people have heard of ChatGPT. This is our version of ChatGPT. We actually invented the T in ChatGPT, but we didn't want to have it be such a similar name, so we call it Gemini. And it's a really powerful, really helpful set of tools. So I'm going to show you two things that I use on a regular basis that make it easier for me to do research, that make it easier for me to read papers and things like that. So I'm going to start with Gemini and sort of show you what I'm doing. And then we'll go to Notebook LM, and I'll show you all the neat things that can do. So I'll move to Gemini first. Share this tab instead. So what I have here is I have just a document that was on my hard drive. But I'll just do this with you so you can see how fast it is, because it's not terribly, it doesn't take a huge amount of time. So I'm going to upload a file. And I'm going to upload this web Microsoft doc about a conference I gave. I'll say open, and I say, tell me the key points of this document. It'll think for a couple seconds, and then it gives me the details. And it's very clear, it's easy to read. If you need to, you can copy and paste it into another document. But this forces you not to have to read the entire doc or the entire paper. So you get to this opportunity to have the highlights. So now a pro tip that I use is I'm given a lot of papers to read, a lot of large PDFs, like 100 pages. And there's no way I'm going to read all of that. So what I do is I do the same process. I upload it into Gemini, and I say, tell me the key points and tell me where they are in the document. So this tells me what page to go to get the key point. And then I can sort of read a little bit beforehand to see how this sort of set up the argument for this key point. And then I can decide where I want to go. Or I can read the key points and say, no, I don't care enough. I'm not going to even bother to do that. So it gives me agency to decide if I care enough. Or if I do care, then I have a chance to go and find out what the important parts are. And it works. This works really well for me. There's a question in the queue. Silvana?
Wow.
Are you working to get him on?
Christopher, you need something?
Yeah, there's someone who has a question.
Oh,
Or would you rather me wait and answer the questions at the end?
Yes.
Okay,
Or
okay.
if you prefer, we could also unmute the person and ask, whichever
I,
for you.
I would much rather do it in real time because that's when the idea is fresh. So if you could unmute him. This is why I was waiting. I'm sorry. Is so we could have this question asked.
Sulemana, could you unmute yourself and ask your
So,
question?
so Sulemana is a deaf person. Yes, he's a deaf person. Yes, yes, he's a deaf person. Yes. Thank you. We can continue.
Oh, continue? Okay.
Yes.
So these two ways that I use Gemini honestly will work with ChatGPT and other things. There's nothing special about Gemini here. I'm a little biased. I like the quality of what we have and I like the structure, but all of them can do similar kind of things. I don't want you to think it's only for Gemini, though I think ours is quite good. The second one is something that only Google has. It's called Notebook LM. So what this isn't also this is free, and this allows you to take information and have it presented for you in different ways. Again, the thing I tried to mention earlier is it's that customization of information is what's so important. So what I did is I literally just asked a question of where'd that question go? Oh no, I can't find my question. Okay, so the crux of what I asked is tell me about the key disability tools and about disability, specifically dyslexia, on the continent. And what it did, it used this deep research and it identified many papers here on the left that were written about the topic. It gave me a write-up of what this is with information that allows me to understand what the problems are and helps me sort of decode an abstraction of all of these different reports. And I could ask questions. You could have a chat with this tool. But what I really like are the different ways it takes the information and presents it to us in new ways. So the one that I find most helpful is they can take, excuse me, they can take this information and turn it into a podcast, an audio podcast with two people talking. So I'll play you a little bit of this right now.
To the deep dive. Today, we are undertaking what I think is a really critical mission to explore the intersection of, well, ability and access. We're focusing on the silent struggles faced by people with learning disabilities, like dyslexia and dyscalculia, and the huge gap between assistive tech and policy.
And this is a deep dive that goes beyond just the exciting gadgets, doesn't it? It forces us to confront this global paradox.
I'm not going to play the whole thing, but it took this research and made a 15-minute podcast based off this information. So I can listen to an extraction of all of that information. And for me, this has been really, really helpful. Another thing that is really useful is the mind map. So here's another way of organizing information. So again, this is the same content, just in a different way. So what are, excuse me, let me open this up. What are the different dimensions of disability for learning disabilities, or what are the challenges? And this mind map lets me sort of explore and ask questions and go deeper, so I can make these connections myself, go from one place to the next to the next. So this is another way that you can take some complicated information and understand it better. The third one is, hold on, oh no, not there, go back. Okay, how do you go back to this one? Oh no, did I lose it? Oh, that would be so sad. Oh, no, here it is. So the next one is we can create a slide deck about it. So this is a deck that was all created by AI spontaneously based off this information. And it just takes it, brings it to you in yet another way that can be really helpful. It actually looks pretty good too, I have to say. Again, I'm an engineer, so I don't know what really good actually looks like, but for me, this is pretty good. But it is a helpful way of getting to this information. And the last one, down here, is you can also build an info page, a physical page that takes the information, and you can just, this is extracted to a much higher level than the deck, but you can do this sort of infographic based off the same information. All of this comes from this notebook LM. So for me, this is a really neat tool, a really helpful tool for taking information, allowing me to sort of process it in the ways that I need to. So coming back to the deck, the next thing I want to share are some of these non-Google extensions that I find really helpful. And I sort of just show them to you. I think you probably know what these are, but if you don't, here's just a quick chance. There's a neat one called Beeline Reader, which is an extension that you can install on your computer, and it can do font replacement. It can do line coloring. Like if you see here, it does them from black to blue. The next line is blue, goes to black, and then black to red, red to black. So you can it makes it easier to not get lost in the lines of a long paragraph, this line coloring feature. So this is a neat tool. There's also Grammarly, and I'm told that this is available in Africa. This is a neat tool to help with grammar and writing. So some of us have problems writing. Like I write like a fifth grader, and I always need help whenever I need to have something that's formal. So this is a tool that is really helpful, helping you do grammar. Now, this is great for schools. It's not going to be great for business because they actually take your information and send it to their cloud, and they bring it back to you for your information. So this is great for schools and personal use. This isn't great for business. So just be aware that there's some challenges with that. But of course, there's also the read write tool that is also often used in schools. And this is another great one that we use a lot at Google when working with schools. So read and write is another extension that's quite helpful.
There is a question here from Suleiman.
Okay.
So he said
yes.
he being a deaf person, as we're explaining, there are features that benefit those with visual impairment. So it can read aloud, but for the deaf people, can there be any app that can help translate from text to sign language? That's what he's asking.
Not yet. Not yet. I think it is a when answer, not an if answer. So I think within the next couple of years, we'll probably have something that will be not a replacement of an interpreter. It will be something that helps you process information. So I think we're in the next few years, you might be able to see some interesting things around this.
Thank you. We can move on.
Okay. So the next thing that I wanted to share are about fonts. Everybody has a different font that's useful. For me, I don't like any of them. I think they're a little ugly. But I know a lot of people that like the Open Dyslexic font. So this is helpful for some people because the weight in the bottom is good for some people. And like, here's an example of that. Again, I personally don't like this, but some people swear by it. There's also Lexi Readable, which is another font, which is all, and so these are all designed by different people. Sometimes they're individuals, sometimes they're companies. So this is another font that some people find helpful. And Dyslexy is another similar kind of font. And you can see like the weight changes and the angle changes here. Again, different people are able to do different things with this technology. With as simple as a font, it can be really helpful for people. And again, everyone's needs are going to be different. Google has a font called Lexend, which is not a dyslexic only font. It was just a font that we helped design to help with reading, and dyslexia is, of course, part of that. And what I like about this, it looks like a font like everybody else is going to use. So if someone were to take a look at your laptop, or if you print this out, no one's will look at you and say, "What's that?" So this helps us sort of pass a little better if this helps for you. Again, if it doesn't work for you, don't use it. Use a thing that's helpful for you, because that's what's most important, that you're able to do the work you want to do. So coming to the end, I want to talk about some things that aren't tech that I think that can be helpful. So I've taken these, what I call adjustments. These are the things that we do at Google to support people with dyslexia. I want to share some of these ideas because I thought this could be helpful as well. Again, this is not tech, this is people. And sometimes people is the hardest part, you know? So when it comes to adjustments, we would recommend that you give verbal as well as written instructions. And you highlight an important points in documents, like you bold them or things like that to make it easy to find the key parts. When it comes to reading and writing, give people plenty of time to finish those activities. Discuss the material, or I also did work with some schools here. Discuss materials with students and make sure they have a chance to talk about what's working for them or not. Again, present information in other formats, like what we saw with Notebook LM. Use speech-to-text software like Live Transcribe or Pixel. And the idea here is Live Transcribe it's a live transcriber. If someone talks to you, and some of us have a hard time remembering things, I can read what's there as they're talking. And this works in 120 different languages today. This is also really helpful for the deaf community. And the Pixel and Android phones also have live captions. So if there's a video on the screen, you can actually get the captions of the video. So words in conjunction with sound is often very helpful. And then ask someone to take minutes of the class or the meeting. Other adjustments, use spell checkers in Google, in Gmail. We have the ability to help you finish a sentence. Use those, makes it much easier for us. Ask someone to read over important emails or documents. I do this all the time. And in terms of things for computer, don't be embarrassed or afraid to change the background colors or screens or fonts if it helps you be more successful. That's what matters most, is that you can do what you need to do. Some people get distracted by glares, so having an anti-glare screen could be helpful. Also, we're working so much harder to read. Give yourself a break. Give your brain a chance to rest itself a little bit. And do a computer thing and non-computer thing, so you give your brain a chance to do different things. Give things verbally where you can. Make sure if you have a hard time concentrating, make sure there's a place where you can go quiet and maybe or get some headphones that block noise to make it easier for you to be able to focus. If someone's gonna interrupt us, give us notice so we can like put our finger in the book or pause finishing the thought that we're doing. Give us a chance to prepare ourselves so we don't get lost when we need to go back into the tool. And then sometimes we just get easily distracted. So having someone remind us, or you can use tools like tasks or calendar to give you reminders when things are necessary. So these are the things that we do, both in terms of schools that I've talked to and also inside Google. I hope this is helpful. We had some tools from Google. We had some tools from not Google. I showed you some fonts and some interpersonal things that are helpful for me and people around us. Thank you.
So much, Christopher, for enriching us, as Precious around, to
Yes.
pick up some Q&As from our team members. But before Precious, you take over, there is something that Christopher mentioned, that he kept talking about a lot of free things. And I don't know if a lot of us here know about them, but there are so many things that are available that you don't even need a laptop. As long as you have a cell phone, you can have access to many of these things. And you, as an educator or a parent, can utilize it in a way that can also support your child's
Photograph.
that you are
What day?
supporting. If you have, for example, any way you are here and you have an example of how you use some of these things, you can also raise up your hand and share your knowledge as to how you're utilizing these things so that your colleagues as well can learn from you. I remember when we put up this training, we had a couple of people say that, oh, but in my school that I teach, we don't have a computer lab, we don't have access to internet. One of them I asked, oh, but you're using WhatsApp to chat me, you have internet on your phone. So let's not forget that your cell phone can do so much. You don't even need a laptop to utilize it. And we also don't want to wait for you to have a computer lab before we bring you some of this information. This, I know some of the accessibility tools in Google, for example, has been there for years. And so why is it that we don't even know about them? And that is what for us at Africa Dyslexia Organization, we want to bring to our community that yes, we know the challenges in Africa, that not everybody have that accessibility into digital devices. But what I do very well know is that we have mobile phones. A friend of mine ran the Farmer Line company, and basically they go into villages. And you know the YAM phone, what we call the YAM phone that don't have internet, they're able to transmit SMS messages in voice notes for the farmers and teaching the farmers how to do their work. So if farmers sitting somewhere who don't have access to internet can use their YAM phone without internet to get information to do their work, how about us as educators and parents who have access to internet and have access to cell phones as well? There's so much we can do. And so let's not underestimate what we already have and how we can utilize them. Precious, you can take over and let's see if we have any questions or contributions. Thank you. Thank you so much, Christopher.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So if you have any questions, if you have any experiences with any of these tools, I see a few in the chat, so I'll read them while we wait for people who want to speak to raise their hands so that we call them while they share. Okay, so I see Monisa was sharing that Note LM has really helped her a lot, especially being dyslexic. Okay. And then Linda is saying that she's going to try Gemini for summarizing history notes for her students. And she likes the way it points out the key notes, and this will really help the information overload with learning. Yes, history can be a lot sometimes. Yes, Edwina, for your question, the recording will be shared with all of you who registered for this event. Okay, we have a hand up. Kwame, please unmute and ask your question.
Good evening.
Yeah.
It's quite unfortunate. I joined it late. I just want to know if there is a YouTube link to connect so that I can just catch up with whatever you have discussed earlier. Thank you.
You are welcome. We'll share a recording so that you can catch up.
Thank you.
Come. Okay, so Emmanuel says he's been using Gemini on his cell phone and it's been very useful. So I see a lot of you use some of these tools already, and it's great to know. Okay, David has a question. Hello, David, please unmute. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Please, I would want to find out about the notebook LM. How secure is data on the notebook LM?
Well, you're sending information to the cloud. You're sending
Yes.
it to a Google service. Now, we don't use information that gets uploaded for our training. It is used for your purpose and back. So I wouldn't, for day-to-day purposes, for work things, I think it's fine as long as there isn't anything confidential. I can't say that we are. I use it for regular purposes. I use it for things. If you're with a school, you can get a school account that has more protections.
Okay.
And they're enterprise versions as well. So I guess but the free version, I think you have as much. I can't qualify this. So I don't want to get myself in trouble. But I know how hard it is to get things done here, and I trust the thing here, the security that we have here. But when you are in an enterprise context, you have more protections.
Okay. 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 And one more. Is it possible to export notes from it as well?
So I just copy paste it into a Google Doc. There's as of right now, there's no way to press a button and have it go into Docs. But it's easy just to copy paste and you get it out.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I also want to, Precious, can I add to the security bit of it? Just as Christopher said, don't go and put information that you wouldn't want it to be out there. So credit card information, banking information, your passport details, your ID details, you wouldn't want to feed AI platforms with this, not just Google products, but any other platforms, you wouldn't want to be feeding them in it. Yet let's use it in a more like cautious and more ethical way, but it really can do a lot. As a dyslexic and somebody, I feel like I'm in my best time of life of all these products that are out there, but let's also be cautious about it. Don't go and be uploading the children's picture in it. You know that you will need even a consent when you have to use your student picture for something. So let's be mindful of all these things.
Thank you so much for adding that. So if you have a question or you want to share a testimonial about any of the apps and you don't want to type it, you can raise your hand and we'll be happy to hear from you. And Christopher has also shared more about the security on Notebook LM in the chat, so you can also read that. Benita is saying that she's going to use Notebook LM and it's really interesting and great. We're happy to hear that. And Kimfred is excited that he's been introduced to new things like Notebook LM. Okay. So any more questions? Okay, Benita has a question. Can anyone download the infographics done on Notebook LM?
Yes, once it's done, one can, yes. You can also do infographics using Nano Banana Pro, that then do Nano Banana. It's the new version of an image generator, and it actually does really great infographics as well.
Okay, so we have a few more minutes to leave. If you have any questions, now is the time to raise your hand or put it in the chat box. Or if you have any statements to give, we're happy to read all of them.
So Rosen just added a question about my experience as a dyslexic. So I didn't realize I was dyslexic until my 40s. I just knew I wasn't good at things. And in some cases, I called myself an experiential learner because you couldn't give me sort of like a list and expect me to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Usually I would do like 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3, and then things don't work because I got things out of order. And my mother used to say I was bad with details. And I had a hard time taking in information when read, so I started doing audiobooks and didn't realize that was sort of a coping mechanism. But it wasn't until I started doing work in accessibility that I realized that these tools that have been helpful for me also were helpful for dyslexics. So I was tested, and it's mild, but it's there. And that's why I was able to pass for so long, is because it wasn't so severe that I was prevented from doing my work. I just had to work a lot harder than other people so to get the same amount of work done.
Thank you so much for sharing. We have a question from Minette. Is Nano Banana Pro free and can be downloaded on Android?
So here's a, I'm going to paste for you a URL that talks about this. I don't know I don't know everything about all of our tools, but what this looks like is this is free, and there'll just be limits in terms of the number of images that you can generate.
Okay, great.
Diana's question is a really interesting one. We're not really good at letting people know about the features that we've got, but I'll be honest, Apple has the same problem and Microsoft has the same problem. We all have so many things that these technologies can do. Those of us with disability, we're just trying to survive and get our job done. We don't have the capacity to look at all of the blog posts that everyone has, and our carers, our support, they're busy too. So they don't have a chance to take a look at. So it really is a matter of being curious and just looking up and looking around every once in a while and finding it out. You have to stay curious, you have to stay humble. But again, it can be helpful.
Okay, we have another question from Helena. She says, at what point does it become necessary for a teacher to use Gemini Notebook to teach learners?
I don't want to say when it's necessary or not. I think you really need to think about the needs of your student or of your child, because that's what really matters. What's helpful for one may not be helpful for another. So I don't want to give you need to do it this way, but give it a chance. Let them play with it. Give them a PDF of something and see if they can figure out a way to make it helpful for them. That's the right, in my mind, that's the right way to do it, is let them discover if this solves our problems. Again, we are all busy. We're all trying our best, and we can't know everything about everyone. So this is why I say stay curious and stay humble. We have to open our minds. We have to open our hearts to be able to meet the needs of the people we're there for, and that we have to listen to them about what works for them. So it might take a little longer, but if we get the right tool, if we hit the right formula for some, we can unlock them. And then they get to do what they want to do. Then they get to go get a job, go to school, graduate from school, get a date. All these things matter. And who knows what could be the right tool? That's why you need to play.
Okay, thank you. All right, any more questions? We have 2 more minutes and then we'll start wrapping up. So if you have a question, a statement, have a few more minutes. Okay.
Well, thank you all very much. I hope this was helpful. I will share the slides with Rosalind so they can be distributed. Nothing there is confidential, so you'll get access to this. And good luck. It's hard, but it's fun. And when you find your thing, you get to run. You get to do it. You can do it by yourself, and that's what this is about.
Yeah, exactly. So my question to everybody is, how do you plan to use today's knowledge that you have gained? Um, the usual trainings we do, I know that you might think, oh, today we are going up very early. But I also love it so much because it makes you retain the information you have gotten. And I can't wait to get the slides and share it with you. Let us know. I want to see from at least 3 people. If you want us to leave now, 3 people at least. How are you going to use the information you have gained today? For yourself as a person and also for your learners, how are you going to use this information from today? Let us know in the comments. And as I would always say something, that technology has come to stay. I remember I started from technology, and technology has come, technology. And now we have added AI. These things are not going to depart from us. is actually going to increase. If you look at some of the early times computers that came versus today, and even in phones, you know that we are not going backwards, we're going forward. So the question is, as an educator, how are you preparing yourself to meet the demand that is coming your way? The students we are teaching them is going to change. Things are going to change. So I saw somebody asking, how can I use it? You can use it to practice even how to make your lesson plans, get ideas, get fun ideas on how you can engage your students. Okay, you can have a conversation with them. I know Gemini, you can record and it's for free. You can just click the microphone there and talk to them. You can give a scenario that this is the class I teach. Maybe I have A and B persons here. This is their struggles. What are some ideas I can explore so that you learn it to yourself? Okay, so that is what you can do to stay up to where we are. And there's so much you can do. There is so much you can do. So Linda says, for myself, for more research, she's going to do more research because I can have these articles read to me, and for my learners, leverage on making learning easy because I can make the slide more engaging. Exactly. You can make the slide more engaging. And also, for example, you can use these things to create, when you create a slide, especially for those of you who don't have access to devices, but you have access when you come home or something. You can do some very nice things, maybe pictures, and laminate them so that it doesn't get spoiled. Laminate them, invest a little bit of money, take it to your class and learn with your student. So you don't need a physical laptop there, but you can get the information, you print them out, you laminate them, it stays with you, and then you can explore using them. So that's some way you can use it. Gifty says, I will use this to summarize. Look at me reading. Summarize notes for my child with dyslexia. I will use Notebook LM for myself as a dyslexic adult if reading is overwhelming. And this is Dr. Roxanne. She is a lecturer at the University of Education, Winneba. So, hey, even these doctors are not stopping learning. So please don't stop learning. I think we have a question for Christopher. In the case of Notebook LM, can Android version 9 support it? I don't know Android version 9.
I don't know the answer to that. I'd say just load up the website and see how it goes.
Exactly. I would say the same. And go on Chrome.
Or there's also an app. There's also a Notebook LM app. So try one or the other.
Oh, I actually didn't know they have an app. I use the web version. Okay, good to know.
Okay,
I need to get to my next meeting. It is a pleasure to be with you all. Thank you very much. I hope this is helpful. And if you have questions, just let me know.
Thank
Thanks,
you
everyone.
so much, Christopher. I'll get in touch with you so we see the way forward of what next we can do. Thank you. Precious.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm going to read a few more things everyone here is going to do and then we'll wrap up. So Angela says she has about 3 students in her class who are struggling with reading, and she's going to introduce it in her lessons so that she can engage them. Minette says that she's going to use it to prepare lesson notes and make it more attractive for her autistic learners. Okay. Francis says this was an awesome presentation. He has learned a different way of engaging his learning. Beautiful to know. David says he's going to use it to create more infographic IEPs for his students. Irene says as a leader, she's going to teach her teachers how to navigate this to make planning of lessons easy for them. That is amazing. And Bismarck says okay, we've answered this. Samuel says he's going to do more research and have multiple ways of presenting what he'll be teaching. Joyce says Gemini is going to help her design activities for lessons for learners with diverse learning abilities. Amazing. Nana says many learners with accessibility difficulties do not know about these, so I'll explore the opportunities and introduce them to learners. Beautiful. Okay. All right, thank you all for joining today's session. We're sure there's so much more for 2026 and the year is still unfolding. So make sure to follow us on our social media platforms so that you are informed when we put something out there, training or an opportunity to improve on your knowledge. And thank you all for joining. We will share the slides as well as the recording with you in due time once we receive all of them. Thank you for joining the session. We hope you have a very good evening and have an amazing rest of the week. Bye.
Bye. And thank you so much to our sign language interpreter, Martin. And a shout out to University of Kigali team who are here from Rwanda. We love you all and we can't wait to build something great with you. So thank you all for joining us. And please watch out next week. Big news from ADO is coming, especially if you're a teacher. Stay tuned to all our platforms. If you're not following us, go and follow us now. If we don't have any major program that brings us together until the end of the year, we wish you all the best and have a great holidays, great celebrations with your family. We wish you all the best, but stay tuned for amazing things that are coming up. Thank you. Bye-bye.